Hi, everybody. Everyone doing okay? You guys hear me?
Yes, good morning, Dale.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, not terribly well. I'm a little bit sick, but I'm okay. I'm okay overall.
All right, good, buddy. A lot of people going through, you get the flu or something and you think you have COVID. So
Yep.
big week, big number today. All I could say is this, we're back inside the wedge. So very possible that this ends up being pretty important inflection point. I mean, it's what we were looking for, although I was looking for higher and it turned into a throwover. That's a pretty nice week. Euro pound's a pretty nice week. Looks like you have a key reversal now in Euro pound. That may be a low that stands for a while still. What do you think?
Yeah, Euro pound. I mean, those lows around 83 have been really, really strong over the past years, and we've been talking about that with Ryan as well, and with you. So it could be, and it will depend on what the ECB. Well, they've already changed the statement, and they're going to be basically finishing the taper Q3 with rate hikes coming a little while after. But I saw today Italian PPI that was something like 30-something% year on year. I mean, all that is going to feed through to the economy and to products, and they're going to have to get away from their super dovish, and they're already getting away from the super dovish talk. So they're going to have to catch up a little bit with the Fed and the Bank of England, in my view.
Would there be any reason that the ECB would want a stronger euro after this huge decline we've had over this time? I know weaker currency helps with exports, but can you think of any reason? I was thinking about this, that, history for peoples runs very deep. And, if you want to say this is like the late 30s or that era, in the Germans' memory and DNA is having a currency that became worthless. Whereas in the US, our biggest fear is a deflationary type depression, which we had. So, yin yang. So, we're going to do anything to avoid what was our past history of having a deflation. And I really think, I think the euro mainly is, Germany, the Deutschmark, we could still kind of call it the Deutschmark, that they're going to do everything to make sure they have a sound currency. Thought I had that, people still remember their histories and what happened. That was a catastrophe for Germany that led to Hitler coming in. I think currency crises lead to more instability than people suffering during the deflationary depression.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the trade balance, the EU trade balance has been positive for the past years. So there, and the thing that the EU imports, the biggest import, which is energy, is just shooting up. So why wouldn't you want to have a stronger currency if you are net exporting and net if you're net exporting, then a strong currency is not a good thing. But when you're importing energy, which is going through the roof, a strong currency, at least temporarily, it's maybe not a bad thing. But talking about the strong euro, I mean, in terms of the 2, 3, 5 year average, it's still relatively weak. So you couldn't call it strong by any means.
It's going to be interesting, the forecasts. And morning, guys.
Morning, Ryan. How are you?
Not too bad, mate. The ECB predicted $77.50 for oil this year. So they're going to be changing that quite quickly, the forecasts.
What do you think, say, a dollar correction or dollar slide? Yesterday it looked like the old ways were back. You had a weak dollar and you had risk on. You don't exactly have a weak dollar today. I think that the market needs a weak dollar. that we need risk on. I think the only way we get risk on is with a weak dollar. So weak dollar would also, serve to keep, the hopium going. Since they can't ease, maybe that's some way the Fed would welcome a weaker dollar.
I think they're more concerned with making sure the economy stays on track than where the currency is. It's always a consideration, but the Fed will want the economy over where the dollar is all day long.
Yeah, so right, they would sacrifice. It could be a sacrificial lamb, right?
Yeah, potentially, but it's like we said before. It's other central banks now playing catch up, and that's going to move. That's going to move the balance to those currencies, put the focus on those currencies. So the dollar could weaken because the ECB has now done its second hawkish meeting on the trot, and it's heading towards normalisation. So that's a natural support for the euro. Same with the pound and the BOE. Yeah. Same with the Aussie dollar. And there's always two sides to a currency. So if one side was strengthening and the reasons for that strengthening have stopped, and now the reasons on the other side for that currency to strengthen, then that's the natural order of things.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey.
Ryan.
Morning, mate.
Hey, I wanted to expand on what you were just saying. I mean, I saw these hawkish comments come from the ECB, and I'm like, yeah, so what? I mean, did we not expect the ECB to be hawkish? Hey, Stelios, what's inflation like where you live in Athens, Greece?
Depends on what products, but we're getting to double digits.
Hair care. Yeah. How much has hair care gone up?
Double digits. How much?
Yeah, and real one or reported?
Yeah, and then there's Steve. I mean, look, and you guys didn't even get any stimulus. I mean, here in the U.S. we got stimulus checks and blah 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 and all that other crap, but you guys haven't even had any of that, and yet now you have a Ukrainian crisis in Russia, which is going to be an energy impact big time for where you guys live in all of Europe. And so if you watch the ECB or you just listen to their statement, and we're going to obviously listen to their press conference in about 20 minutes. If you expected them to be dovish, I mean, what? I mean, come on. We all knew that they have to tilt hawkish. Am I off base here?
No, I don't. No. It's all about the context. I don't think anyone was. Well, I don't think anyone. Some people might have been thinking that they weren't going to be as hawkish because of the UK risk. And Lagarde's still going to wax lyrical about
the UK risk
risks.
They're going to have energy prices up y'all's behinds is what the risk is.
Yeah, but it's they've got to look at the financial fallout and all the banks and everything, and now they're tied into Russia, blah blah blah. I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you what they're going to say. But as I said in the room earlier, at the very least, what the market wanted to see from this announcement is that the path is going to be maintained, and that's what they got, and they got a bit more on top. So. Boom! Off goes the euro.
So
now,
I think it's really dangerous trying to get really bullish the euro here. That's just. I guess that's my opinion. I know it pushed higher, but we are pushing into what? Let me just. Do you mind if I grab the charts there?
No, sure.
We're back under 111. But what we're into
love
now.
Your charts.
We've
well,
had
my
the
charts
shock.
are a little messy right at this moment, but
You are the best. You have the cleanest. Oh, well, it's between you and Steve, and Stelios, and Grega, and Andre.
Okay, stop it. So the thing is let me just point out a couple things. So on a weekly basis, yes, this is Cayman's trend line here. This weekly trend line, this blue one. I was looking at the since the creation of the euro trend line. If you guys watch the week ahead video, blah blah blah. So here we are. Let's focus in on like a 4-hour chart. So we just bounced back to where the breakdown point was at 111. And like I said, you guys running out buying the euro this morning. I mean, I can see, okay, we got a bull flag, blah, blah, blah. And it looks like, we were kind of taking off. But like I said, if you ran out and bought the euro based on the statement this morning, you're buying it right into a wall of resistance. Now, knowing, like I said, the ECB, of course, they're going to be hawkish, and I think we're going to find out just how hawkish they are at the press conference. And now, the table's set at this point when you're dealing with the euro. And don't forget, we do have CPI this morning, but we now get above 111.25, or let's just call it, if we break new highs on the day, I think that's an open door for higher euro prices. I mean, we can all have our opinions, which we all do, but it's really price action is going to drive it, right? It's going to, ultimately drive.
Well, that's what I was just saying about the price action. Right now, we've had the announcement, we've had those headlines. Now we've got the presser risk. So what tends to happen is the price will now gyrate around a bit. We'll wait for the comments. If the comments don't embellish on the statement, then potentially nothing will happen until the end of the presser, and then we get a secondary move. It will be the end of the presser where the decision will be made. If the market's happy with all this, that's when it will shoot up, if there's no additional headlines in the presser.
Right. And one of the other things I wanted to point out, Ryan, and obviously the entire team here, one of the things I also wanted to point out is that I love it when price gives us those clues. I mean, when we get the clues, there's an update that went out this morning that I put out with ForexAnalytix. So if you guys are ForexAnalytix subscribers, just, this is, if you're not, excuse me, this is what, what the ForexAnalytix, like, just the platform looks like, with live squawk here and the updates. This was from this morning, and I'm going to explain this chart. This is gold. You can see right here, gold. And here's the chart that was sent out. I love when price does exactly this, because I can tell you right now, I know exactly where gold turns bearish, like precisely. And I love it when the market does that. The euro just did that for us. The euro said, okay, you want to know where we turn bullish? It's right here. And it's right. It's literally like here. I can take this red line here, right there. All those previous support, previous resistance levels, previous support over here. The high spike high now comes in. The high today is 111.21. So basically, break above those highs, we turn bullish. And while we're below that, you have to be really careful. And that's the same thing with gold. It's like gold is, now has told us, hey, as long as we're above 1970, it's bullish. We break below 1970, it's going to get real to the downside. And the reason why is because we just hit the 161% extension of this entire range of 2021, 21's range. We just hit the 161% extension. And also at this point in time have made a lower high. So, now gold is a reversal candidate below 1970. That's like when price tells us and clues us into all this stuff, that's the most amazing thing about trading. Yeah. Now, what else is amazing is
WTI under 105.
No, that this is our community at ForexAnalytix. So here's the time for our sponsor, ForexAnalytix, which happens to be the sponsor, which happens to be our company, which, this is our chat room and the general chat room. And that you can see just all the charts that are being posted. This is when I got up this morning, which is an hour and a half ago at, 4 o'clock hour. This is when I got up. Good morning, everyone. You can see right there. This is just the general chat room. I have not taken you into the macro flownomics room. Haven't taken you into the trades room. Haven't taken you in the news and research room. This is just all that's happened in the last hour and a half. So you want to know one of the largest and most exciting trading communities are? It's in ForexAnalytix. It's only $1 for 10 days to try it out. Or if you join the trader funding program, you get it included. Guess how many ideas you're going to find in the ForexAnalytix community for your assessment when you do the trader funding program. So anyway, now
great combo.
Back from our sponsor. All right. So, the thing, like I said, you point out gold, you point out euro, we have CPI data today. So
I was just going to say, what's the question? What's the question now?
What do you think is going to happen with CPI?
Strong CPI means euro dollar gets sold potentially because we get a dollar bid. So do you fade that? Because the euro the euro stuff is bigger beans?
Well, so here's the problem, right? Why? Well, because you have to deal with the ECB press conference at the same time the CPI. So CPI data comes out, you start leaning on the euro, or you start buying the euro, and then Lagarde says something crazy. What else can you do?
Look elsewhere other than
like let's look at the dollar yen for crying out Christmas. Here we are near. Again, I'm going to point out just a chart that, if you've been listening here in the mornings, you know exactly what chart this is, because you've seen it every single freaking day. This is the dollar yen. This is the bullish channel, right? And we are really wedging at this point, because you can see the higher lows, consistent highs. The highs at 116.35 is really key. Today, the move up to 116.19 held. So you can see we're just knocking our head right up against the 116 level, and we're threatening a breakout. I mean, a strong CPI. Let's say CPI data is north of 8%. What would you do?
Cry.
What?
Cry, he said.
Cry.
Okay, so you might cry.
Kidding aside,
that's not going to do you anything in the market.
It is a real.
After you whine like a little wussy, what are you going to do?
Cry some more.
Yeah, man. They don't make Greeks like they used to. You should go see the movie 300 and then come back and see me after that.
My wife is from Sparta. Come on.
Yeah, well, that's your wife. You're obviously the woman, or the woman. I didn't want to say it. You're obviously the wussy in this relationship.
He's the wife and she's the husband.
I don't know. He's pretty tough.
No, she's the driver of this ship. Is that what that's what it comes into? And you know what? I have to be honest. So is my wife in my relationship. So I shouldn't really speak.
I don't want to spoil it to you, but that theory is going to get shut down once we spend a week there with you.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that. Steve and his family are coming to visit us. So just to let you guys know, they've always wanted to celebrate Halloween in the United States, just to check it out. So they're going to come for Halloween this year, stay at our house. We're going to take them all over and scare the crap out of their 5-year-old kid. So he's going
to be 6.5.
He'll be 6.5, and he'll never want to sleep in the dark again after we're done. All right. So anyway, let's go back to the markets here. So the dollar yen's, knocking its head up against 116.35. And don't forget that the dollar yen is right up against a multi-year, this is, since the 90s trend line. Do you buy the dollar yen going into on a strong number? Do you buy going into this big resistance? What do you guys do here?
Potentially go for a break. You look at the break.
I think technically speaking, the USD yen is one of the easiest things to read at the moment. There is an ascending wedge, which we keep holding the support, and now we have a horizontal resistance area. So I think it's nothing to do with it at the moment, but we break through 114.70. It's a sell, no questions asked in my opinion. We break through 116.30. It's a buy.
Okay, so we break
nothing in between.
116.30, and you're getting long. So K-Man, our resident Forex, or our resident dollar yen Japanese living trader, what do you think here?
We need Japanese patience, because at the rhythm dollar yen goes down, it could be after Easter before we make the next big decision on dollar yen.
That's a good point.
No, but it looks as if we are going higher. As I said a couple of times, we're in March, the end of the fiscal year. Importers might need to press a few more buttons to cover the high energy costs. As Ryan already said a couple of times, the Japanese whale was spotted on the bid in the 114s. It looks as if we're going to test. We might print a high. Now, leave it over to FOMC next week to confirm it, perhaps. but yeah, everything points that we are at least going for a decent test. And for those who are medium term long, in my opinion, the stop is very easy. It's just below 114.5. If those who don't have a position, I wouldn't really advise to open one right here, because it's at least not for the medium term, because we are in the middle of those big zones. But in my opinion, we are in for a test, possibly a high print for the end of March.
Okay,
and since you are give me a second, Blake. Since you are the yen aficionado, why do you think the USD yen has become lately so numb to basically everything that used to be stimulating it, like risk?
Isn't it on the screen right now?
Say?
Isn't it on the screen right now?
What the reason why?
Yeah.
Yeah, yields.
No, not really, Blake. I mean, yields have been.
Yields have
been a lot more active.
Japan is still a big importer of raw product and everything and energy. So the importers have had to pay up to pay for the higher energy prices, and I think it compensated a lot for risk. And as I was saying as well, it's the dollar yen that is stable. Look at the yen crosses.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
And safe havens have shifted. The pandemic and now the Ukraine crisis. They shifted correlations, shifted safe havens.
It's geographical now, isn't it? It's geographical risk. Who's furthest away?
A lot of it is geographical risk. Now, I mean, I don't dare to have a nightmare about it, but what if Russia and China turn east once they are done with Ukraine? I don't know. I mean, then dollar yen will be on the move. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, that is scary.
But anyway, we are not there.
We're not there
for the moment. Dollar yen stable to beat, and yen crosses rather the risk pairs, if we can call them. But Swiss is a much bigger risk indicator right now than the yen is, right?
I'm sorry. What is
Swiss?
The Swissy.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it. Yeah, because this one is so exciting. We should look at the Euro Swiss.
Yeah, look at the Euro Swiss. Look at the
dollar Swiss can go suck it.
Actually, the dollar Swiss being trapped where it is a testament that under current circumstances, both the dollar and the Swissy has been, competing for the same type of flows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a great point, Steve. Really great point. All right, we got about 8 minutes until the inflation data comes out. What else is there? Anything else that's a standout on your radar right now that you guys are feeling that you guys are looking at?
If we can have a quick look at the rand in the emerging market space.
Yeah,
rand has been behaving very, very strongly.
It has been, and I'll tell you, and K-Man knows this because him and I, we trade a lot of the rand. You'll see it in our trades room. I have been actually playing the rand long, meaning dollar rand short, a lot over the last couple of weeks. Usually when stocks move lower, which you can see obviously the S&P has been under pressure, Nasdaq's been down 20%, blah blah blah. Usually emerging market currencies tend to weaken, and that's why you can see these charts over here. I go back a few months ago, and I've been playing this to the long side. I was playing this to the long side, but what we've seen all this year, since the beginning of this year, is it's really failed, and it's not just the dollar rand. It's it's dollar mex. So a lot of flows have been going into emerging market equities, and that's
Could it be the gold market
for one, and then you're right, Dale. It's what they produce.
Okay, so and I was going to say, because a lot of these emerging market currencies or countries, they produce their emerging market countries, but they produce a lot of commodities, right? So So what are your thoughts here with the Rand? I mean, because we're sitting on the 200-day moving average.
Yeah, it's the 15. It's going to happen around 15. I think break 14. What is it? 90-ish or so.
Right down here.
I think we could see a further drop in the dollar rand, and really on the top side we have to go back above, what is it, above 15.30 to start with, 30.35. But then there's big levels up at 15 and a half up to 15.60 as well.
You know, this has been a common theme all year, and I think a lot of traders have completely missed it. And let me say this. You know, over the last few months, if you've been listening, not only just here but in the Morning Edge webinar, I've really talked a lot about it more in our community, not on this public webinar, but really inside of our community for the last couple of months, about how these commodity currencies are not acting the way they normally act, and times are changing. And the reason why, because we're in an inflationary environment. So as we're in an inflationary environment, you're seeing the Aussie and the Kiwi outperform even in a down market. People get caught short them, and you know, when the markets are selling off, and when the markets pop back up, they get the crap squeezed out of them. And that's going to be a common theme, I think, moving forward. So you're seeing, and I think, K-Man, you called the Australian currency a safe haven because of why?
The far from my bed safe haven, Aussie, Kiwi, because they are the furthest away from the conflict.
Right. So not only are they commodity producing countries, which, you know, typically we would, you know, sell the Aussie on risk aversion. You see them outperforming during a risk off period. They're commodity countries, and they're farthest away from, you know, the Ukrainian-Russian situation right now. And so you're seeing that even happen in emerging market currencies. You're seeing the Mexican peso, you know, perform better, the Rand perform better. And if you guys missed that mark over the last couple of months, you know, it's been a big one, and it's been a big, you know, it's been pretty obvious actually.
Maybe that's shifting, Blake. Short
What's that?
term, maybe we're shifting here, and commodities need a rest. Copper, the crude takes out 105.
Yeah,
I think gold's going to range.
And you're going to see that. You're going to see obviously the currencies
Guys,
be affected. Yeah, go ahead.
Not taking account to the very short moves, because in the commodity world, nobody really cares about the short-term moves, right? I mean, the big investors, etc., are not there for the day trading, right? Dale, why would commodities soften with inflation just continuously moving higher? It's not easy. Can they, of course, have corrective? Yeah, they have corrective moves? Yeah, to work off overbought conditions. Of course they can, and they will.
Look at wheat. I mean, look at wheat.
Yeah. That's undoubtedly.
That's a healthy 38% correction.
Absolutely, nothing will move in a straight line. There will be corrections on the way, because the market, on occasion, is going to be
look at WTI.
Yeah, it's going to be overwhelmingly one-sided, and we know what happens when the market is overwhelmingly one-sided, right? But in general,
longer term.
I think
there you go. Under 105 is a problem.
Yeah, but in general, I think the commodity upcycle that we see is nowhere near over. Unfortunately, nowhere near over.
But how about for 3-4 months? That could be.
You know, Dale, if you want that for a birthday present,
what,
it's going to happen. It's just going to be a birthday present for you. You have a lot of commodities right now.
All right.
Are you short crude right now? Yeah, I'm just asking for a friend. Just
who is he? I'll call him.
All right. Hey, we've got CPI data coming out in here in just a minute. Remember, guys, I'm going to say this. We're going to do this live really quick. I know Dale's got his guest coming. Let's grab the data flash. Here's the data flash. What?
I'm ready to cry.
Okay, so here's the data flash, and remember, guys, take a look at the trader funding program. We have just about a minute here, so go to traderfundingprogram.com. Go down to the very bottom. There's a 2-minute video. You can watch this and see if the trader funding program is something that you'd want to be interested or you're interested in. It is great because not only do you go take an assessment to try to get funded for a larger account, you also get ForexAnalytix free for a period of time, depending on how much money you're trying to access. So I'm going to pull up the dollar yen. We're going to put it on a 5-minute chart. I'm going to bring back over the data flash. This is one of those tools that is given. Oh, wait, here, dollar yen is spiking higher.
On the money, 7.9%.
What did?
Okay.
7.9.
10.9.
7.9.
Oh, 7.9.
We're almost
You don't get to
at
die today.
Expectations. All on
Yeah, right.
expectations.
Because 8%, your money losing 8% of their value per year is great.
Yes. So you don't die today. You die a slow death over the course of the next year or two. How about that?
2%
No,
dying
just-
a slow
just-
death.
It's
let's
actually a
hope
lift
not.
for. It's actually positive for the euro because it's not as hot as some might expect.
It is, but let's see if the euro even responds to it, especially
Up a
with
few- up a few
the
pips.
ECB presser coming up here shortly. Hey guys, I just want to say thank you all for being part of this every day. If you guys are listening in, this is your first time listening in. Glad you guys made it here. And Dale, have a great interview. K-Man, Ryan, Stelios, Steve, and everybody else. We'll see you guys on the Morning Edge webinar in 45 minutes with the ForexAnalytix community. Good luck during the ECB press conference. Dale, it's all yours.
All right. We had a cancellation. I Skyped you.
Oh.
Well,
Early
I
this
did.
morning.
You know what? You should have just said it because
Yeah, I
I
tried
don't read
to.
Skype.
I tried
I'm
to.
talking. So we had a cancellation,
Yeah.
dude. Somebody like
Family emergency.
I mean,
James Henry
that's
Anderson.
that's like, how do you diss Dale? Somebody diss Dale?
He's a good guy.
All right, cool.
Stuff happens.
All right, yeah, life does happen. So
You know what?
anyway,
Who I have tomorrow? Do you know Laksham? Economic Cycles. Very famous guy. He's.
ooh,
We're going to have a great interview. You should
that's
try
gonna be
and get
cool.
him on your other businesses. But he's been on financial media for many years, and he was thinking his studies are saying we're already weakening into a recession. That's when I saw
I agree.
CNBC.
Well, let's have Pal and company just kind of shove us right into it. How about that?
Yeah. No, well, I'm going to ask him about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is Fed behind the curve policy error, hiking into a recession, pushing us into stagflation type of event, right?
Yeah, pop the champagne bottles.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Hey, we got to get over to the chat room for the ECB press conference. Dale, thank you for everything. Guys,
buddy.
we'll see you there. Have a great day.
Yeah, good hunting, everyone, today. And don't just count your pips, count your blessings. We'll see everyone for wrap up. And, be part of something. And if you're a trader, you want to find a great trading community. If it's not us, find it. And, but you'll end up here because it's the best. And I'm being objective about it. Okay. I'll see you guys
True.
later.
All right. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.